this is such a wider base, it was interfering with my sway bar. All right, here's my Slash 4x4, and I've just finished running it out, bashing it with some friends tonight. But I've got to get it ready for racing tomorrow, so later I got to change my tires back to my racing tires. But I did buy an upgrade for this truck, and that's the shocks. I decided I really wanted to get better shocks because I'm really getting annoyed with these shock preload collars to get them adjusted for the track. You know, you really don't have minute adjustments, and when you do, you have to get in these super tiny small little spacers. It's just really annoying. So I'm going to upgrade the shocks, and what I was able to do is find a full set of Slash Ultimate shocks. These are called GTR shocks. They're made by Traxxas, but if you buy these as an upgrade kit from Traxxas directly, you just get the shock bodies themselves and you don't get springs, and then you have to buy the springs separately. I was able to procure a set from eBay through people that buy the trucks and then part them out. So this is a full set of Traxxas Slash 4x4 low center of gravity Ultimate shocks. They are a thicker bore. The bodies are aluminum, the bodies are threaded, but I'm kind of disappointed that the shock caps and the shock preload collars are plastic. The shafts are titanium nitride coated, and bottoms that have holes in them. That's new to me. Anyway, I'm hoping that they're a worthwhile upgrade, so I'm going to take the full set of shocks off, and I'm going to put this full set of shocks on, and I'm not going to change the setup. So these would be how they came straight out of the Traxxas factory, set up for the Slash Ultimate. And for those if you don't know, the Slash Ultimate is the same truck as this, but you get these better shocks as well as you get some aluminum bits on each corner. I've just taken this first shock off, and from a setup perspective, oh, is my shaft bent? Looks like my bottom might have bent. Anyway, from a setup perspective, the main difference is that this is a bigger bore body as well as it's aluminum versus plastic. And the other major difference is these progressive rate springs, and GTR shocks come with a standard rate. So that should be better on track, but I'm curious to see how it's going to handle differently. I've just run into my first snag. There's a difference. The Ultra shocks and the big bore shocks by Traxxas use this size of a shock cap and a big hole. And then the actual stock screw is a screw that has a sleeve on it for the shock head. The GTR shock cap is different, and it has a turnbuckle style ball head on it. So you just use a normal threaded screw through it, but I don't have a screw for that. It would be similar to how you install the bottoms. You just need a traditional normal screw on the top is all you need. Problem is I don't have it because I only have this style, so I'll have to dig through my parts. Alright, I was able to get the front ones on, and I think I've found enough screws to be able to do it. I had to raid through my Schumacher screw kits to be able to find screws that would be long enough to reach through the tops. The thread looks very similar, and there's plenty of plastic in this upper tower, and the screw's long enough to feed in there well, so that's good. Something I did have to change though, I had to move it over laterally one hole because this is such a wider base, it was interfering with my sway bar. So I've had to move it over one hole. So they have a bit more of a, what do they call that? Lean? I don't know what they call that when your shocks are straight up and down or to the side. Anyway, fronts are done. I did have to, I talked how I wanted to just leave them how they came out of the factory. I couldn't. They were way too soft. So I had to thread them down about 10 turns. And, you know, they still seem like they're pretty soft. But they are a little bit better than the factory Ultras. The GTR shock upgrade is done. Slash Ultimate shocks. To be honest, I'm really not all that impressed with them. I feel like they made a minor difference, if any. Like, that's pretty much the same type of shock response I had before. Sure, I can adjust the preload way down, but I feel like the springs might be still a bit too soft, and the oil a bit too soft. But what feels bad on the bench can feel really good on the track, so I'm going to try it like this, and then we'll see. Alright, so next time I check in, it'll be at the track. First track test with the Traxxas Slash new GTR shocks. So we're going to see how they do. I should have, but they cost twice as much and I was being cheap.
I was hoping that the GTRs would be better. We'll see. Track's been tightened up. Ooh. Too much. So they are better. I just need to tune them a bit. I think with a tune and an oil change, they'll be much better.
All right, I'm going to try these GTR shocks on the track. I've changed their angle a bit, so I've leaned them a bit more on the inside on the top and more to the outside on the bottom. Are you going to link me this thing?
Oh yeah, I think it's better. Maybe soften the front down a bit. Yeah, just a little something. Oh yeah. Should have had these shocks set up this way for Saturday. Yeah, feels good. But that's better than it's ever been. So just a bit more tuning and it'll be good.